Well, he's been a prince, a pilot, a patron of hundreds of charities, and now he's the king. It's a role that he's been waiting for his entire life. But who is the man behind the crown? My next guest, actress Nicola McAuliffe, is one of our new King Charles's closest friends, ever since being invited to dinner at St James's Palace as part of the cast in the West End production of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Nicola and her late husband Don were also guests at his wedding to the new Queen Camilla and shared many intimate dinners with the couple at Highgrove. And I'm delighted to say that Nicola joins me live in the studio now.
No, it went way back before then.
Oh, really?
Before Chitty, yeah, Chitty was 2002. No, it was black comedy Real Inspector Hound that he came to see.
Yeah.
And he was sitting in the circle, and we'd been playing to non-English speaking tourists. So we were playing to silence every night. And then there was this person howling with laughter. That was how it all started, because of Dave Allen, in fact. Because in this thing that I was doing, I had to do a curtsy, and I knew there was a round of applause in it. So I met Dave and I said, how do I get the round of applause? He said, do the splits. And when we eventually went for the weekend to Sandringham, and Prince Charles, as he was then, said, do the splits. Go on, do it.
He asked you to do the
splits. So I curtsied to him and did the splits. And so we've been friends ever since. Why not?
Well, I mean, as you say, I mean, you are friends. How do you think he's going to be feeling? Because we have all been, you know, getting excited about this now for weeks, if not months.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure on him this weekend. Will he be feeling that? Is he a very calm person? What will it be like for him tonight, do you think?
I don't know, because I would say that I am his friend, but I wouldn't presume to say that he's my friend. I think he is, but you know, you don't presume on these things. I think for him, it's not a show, it's a religious undertaking, as it was for his mother. Now, when you think that we're going to have the, I think it's 13th or 14th great-grandson of Mary, Queen of Scots, descended directly from Henry VII, through his grandmother, the Queen Mother, he's a Stuart from Robert the Bruce. So I think this is more than a show.
So he feels the weight of that occasion.
I think it's a religious undertaking.
Yeah. I mean, he has changed, or you know, he has decided to change some of the elements of the coronation proceedings. He's not known as somebody who's afraid when it comes to stepping outside of tradition.
Absolutely, he's done it all his life, and he has been ridiculed from an early age for doing what is now accepted as being sensible. You know, looking after the planet, caring deeply for young people who are in trouble. Yeah, I mean, he's always ploughed his own furrow.
Yeah. He's going to be there with Camilla at his side, obviously, and for some people, they never really thought that that day would happen. You know, attitudes have changed quite dramatically towards her. I mean, do you think she has changed him? She's changed his attitude on life?
I think in exactly the same way as anybody, like my husband and I, when you love somebody, when you become one creature, you trade souls. And you're sort of indivisible. So you change each other without ever realising it.
And how do you think she'll be feeling? Because you know her too. I mean, do you think she will be...
Terribly, terribly nervous.
Do you think she'll be concerned about the reaction? Because, you know, some people may still feel quite strongly about
the moment that she stepped out of the car after the late Queen's death, and there was a split second of silence. I must admit, I had my heart in my mouth, because I thought, if one person boos, and she stepped out, and I thought, that's real courage to do that, because he was behind her. He wasn't the first to get out of that car. And the reception was so warm, and I would imagine if she could get through that moment, she'll be all right.
But you think she'll still feel nervous?
Oh, wouldn't you? I mean, it's been his life waiting for this, and preparing for what is a sacred moment. Whether you believe it or not, that's a sacred moment for him, and it is 1,000 years of tradition. And if you walked into that tomorrow, knowing that those aren't costumes, those are the real thing. That is King Edward's crown. That is the crown imperial. And although her consort's crown won't carry the Koh-i-Noor, quite rightly, it is still the Queen Consort's crown. And you think, wow, that's That's something.
Yeah.
I wonder if she'll think of her great-grandmother, Alice Keppel, you know. It'll be interesting.
Do you think he will have any superstitions, any rituals? Have you ever known him to do anything like that before a big occasion?
No, not particularly. I mean, he's not an actor. You know,
So
he doesn't
the
not
person
whistle.
we see is the same as the person you know in private.
I would say he's shyer. His great-grandmother, Queen Mary, was desperately shy. His mother was shy. And I think he carries a shyness as well. I don't think he was a terribly confident young man. And you carry that, you know, no matter where you go, you carry that with you. So he's very, very modest. And when he phoned me after my husband died, which was a lovely thing to do, I said, my husband, who was from a not posh area at all in Edinburgh, I said, my husband absolutely adored you for many, many reasons, but you never looked down on him. And he said, genuinely shocked, he said, me look down on him? I mean, it just wouldn't occur to him.
Yeah.
It's just not...
And just finally, I have to ask you, have you sent him a text to say good luck? And how will you be celebrating on Saturday?
Text? It's a coronation. It's not a first night in the West End, dear. No.
Well, then how does one mark a celebration with good luck? A coronation
I
celebration?
write to him.
You've written to him?
I write to him, yeah. We write to each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how will you be marking the occasion on Saturday?
I shall be drunk as a skunk lying under the sofa. No, not at all, not at all. I shall. No, it'll be a very. When they get to Zadok the priest, I shall be. Oh, that'll be something.
There'll be something.
And I
to
shall
watch.
think of that little boy, who was taken by his great-grandmother Queen Mary round the park in her big car. And 70 years later, he's there. You know.
Nicola McAuliffe, thank you so
Lovely
much
to meet
for joining
you.
us in the studio and for sharing your thoughts. We really
Thank you very
appreciate having you.
much.